Welcome back. Whether you're looking for a job or not, we've all heard how rough the job market is out there right now. And I'm sure this won't surprise you, but AI is having a big impact on the job search. Here with more food for thought on this topic is Kevin Mihata, Associate Dean for Undergraduate Education. Welcome to New Day.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
Such an important topic. This is always what I feel like is a big buzzword that people are talking about, just AI in general. It's already changing the landscape on how someone gets hired. The early career hiring landscape is totally shifting. What's UW's response to this shift?
Well, we've been working on early career particularly with liberal arts students for a number of years. So I started a program a few years ago called Gesture. And Gesture is an early career lab that we kind of run like a company to help students make an identity shift from just being a student to being a professional. And so we'd been doing that before AI because we'd been hearing that we felt like we needed to do a little better in preparing students for life after college in general. But when AI happened, and everything changed, and so I gave it a little while to see if it would just go away. It didn't. So we felt like we had to make a shift. And so what we're seeing is both a change in what the expectations are for new graduates. They're increasingly expected to have some AI experience, and what that experience is changing quickly. How people are applying for jobs, how employers are evaluating candidates and processing. There's just like a lot more applications now. And then, the larger questions about the number of jobs and kind of changes in those jobs. So it's kind of like everything is changing.
It really is, and you have to just go with it. And AI isn't only replacing jobs, it's changing how people learn to do these jobs. Explain.
Yeah, so one of the things that I think people probably could talk about a little bit more is if the early career market changes, so the first job, second job, right? Those are usually entry level, exactly. That's usually where you would kind of learn to become a mid-career professional, learn what it means to be a professional in general, what it is in that industry or that domain. And so as the beginning of the career pipeline sort of gets changed around, that actually affects the experience and the skills people will have later in their career. So that, I think one consequence is that we need to shift in college and universities and probably in high school as well to bring a little bit of that back into the training before somebody goes into the job market. But also some of that is going to shift to employees. I mean, candidates are going to have to learn on your own a little bit more than we have in the past.
Definitely. What new habits then do we need to start developing now, would you say?
I would say that flexibility and particularly continual learning. So we have to become more adaptive. And that sounds easy. How hard can that be? Let's just be adaptive to a world that's continually changing. I think it kind of changes what it means to learn something, to not just expect, here are the facts, memorize them, and now you got it, but to be able to kind of navigate a space that is changing continuously, to be comfortable with not knowing everything all the time. Again, easier said than done. I know, I'm not that comfortable with that, but
I know, it's something we probably all could work on with being comfortable there. You say we need to be more flexible, you mentioned this, that old categories are breaking, the old boxes don't work as well anymore. What do you mean then with how people need to just constantly be more flexible, even in school and their careers and beyond?
Well, I think one of the things that's kind of weird about AI is that it has kind of challenged some of the things we took for granted. So I'll give you an example, excuse me, from the school side. So what does it mean to read something if AI can summarize information before you get to it? What does it mean to write something if you
write
can
an essay?
Write an essay, exactly. We use it for email, we use it for all kinds of things. And so some of the things that we really kind of took for granted as core skills and core things that we would need to teach, those really are different. I'm not saying they're gone, but they're changing in ways. And what does it mean to, what's the value of your major? What is, there's lots of things. Everything's kind of up in the air. And I think the consequence is that it feels very unsettling. And particularly if that stuff is happening in your career domain, right?
Definitely.
I was trained to learn stuff that not that many people knew or care about, frankly. But and now AI can kind of know that in a lot of ways. And so I think anyone in education is starting to grapple with, what do I do now? What's my value? So I think we probably underestimate how much that kind of identity kind of work and how unsettling that is, and how much of a barrier that is for people to really kind of engage AI.
Definitely. I loved this, though. Your story is your competitive advantage one there. What do you mean?
So one of the things we talk about in Gesture is that story is not just about being able to tell your own story, but to understand other people's story. And I think in AI, we will actually have to draw out what is more human and central to our values and what's unique to us, and be able to articulate those to stand out, when a lot of the more basic things then could be either done by AI or look the same for everyone.
Amazing. Kevin, thank you so much. So
Absolutely.
interesting.